Hello and welcome to the anatomy, blueprint, and analysis of a young American racist. The majority of us came from another land. This land was owned by someone else before we got here. If you came off of a boat like me, ask your family about Ellis Island.
If black people were super well behaved, we would be racist in the other direction. We'd say, black people, oh, yes, dude, yes. My day is about to turn around for the better. What can I help you with, sir? Please come right on in. Man, what a relief to see you here. You're a sight for sore eyes.
When your ancestors got off the boat, they were coming from a very hard life, and luckily they had the right color skin.
Let's talk about the scientists who defined race and how race and racism still have direct impacts on medicine today. To start, we have to go back to the 1700s and meet Swedish botanist Carlos Linnaeus. He was the same guy that we all learned classified plants and animals, but in his 10th edition of his book Systema Naturae, he decided that he could also classify humans and split us into four so-called varieties: Americanus, Europaeus, Afriaticus, and Asiaticus. Each came with personality traits and physical descriptors, none of which were based on science. But the false stereotypes, if you pause and look at this chart, they stuck.
Well, guys, check this out. So I've got a really tough truth that the black
We
community is
know
just going to have to
even the
accept if they
doctors
ever want to
were
go anywhere. And
telling
I understand you
lies.
guys don't want to go
We
anywhere,
know
which is why you
that
act
your
like you do. But
ancestors
if
worked
if
side by
right now
side
you
with
might want to
our
find yourself in a
ancestors.
position
And at that
someday
time,
where
you
you want to
loved
progress,
us.
you're
You
going to have
loved
to
us.
swallow this
Why
truth.
don't you
This
remember?
truth is this.
Political analysts and historians have identified numerous
Every fucking time a
parallels
white person
between
turns
the
around,
rhetoric
what do we
and
see? What do we
themes
hear?
used
We
by
hear a fucking
Donald
gaggle of
J.
black people
Trump
talking all
and
about how
Adolf
if white
Hitler,
people hate black people,
particularly
it's because they're born in
concerning
the root of darkness. They're born
dehumanization,
in the heart of evil. They're just
the
evil people. They're
identification of
pieces of shit. They're worthless
scapegoats,
to society. This
and
list
the
goes on and on
promise
about how
of
wretched of a person
national
we are.
restoration.
But what you have to understand is that
Interesting.
nobody is born hating
Words
anybody.
that are
The reason that people
flags,
have negative
red
attitudes about
flags,
black people
that they are
is
racist and that
because
they are
most
dangerous.
people's
Listen,
interactions with black
even if
people are
they're
negative.
young, even if they're black,
Most
even
people's
if they're
interactions with
Indian,
black people
even
is
if
when
they're
you're stuck in
Polish,
traffic
even
and
if
you
it's your
see a Nissan
grandpa,
Altima
even
speeding
it's
down
your
the shoulder.
mom,
And you
they
say,
are
what the fuck?
racist
You're not supposed
and
to
they
do
are
that.
dangerous.
If everybody did that, it would just be another lane. And, not everybody can do that. But it's like these people have no respect for
Going to
decorum. They think
guide
the
their
rules don't apply to them.
actions.
They have no respect for
They're going
society.
to react in the
Like their
patterns
interaction is
of
they are a
their
waiter
history.
and they wait on a
And the
black table
history
and the black people
is a
don't tip and they're
history
fucking
of
rude.
violence.
And that's most
That's
people's
why a
interactions. It's
racist
stuff
is
like that.
dangerous.
They go to the DMV and
We
they see a
want them
black
to
person behind the
learn.
counter and they say, "Oh,
Until
here we
they
go,"
learn, I need to
and the
teach you
person's
what to
rude.
look for. Both leaders, Trump and Hitler, use language that cast opponents
And
and
most typically
minority
it's
groups
taught by
as
the people that are
subhuman
hated.
or a
So when you
disease,
look at a white person and
which
you say they
he can
fucking
then
hate me
argue
because I'm black,
facilitates
no, they probably hate you
the
because your community
justification
fucking
of
sucks. Let's
harsh
just call it what it is.
policies. Both leaders identify specific groups as scapegoats responsible for the nation's problems and the enemy within. Both leaders use strong sense of nationalism and the promise of returning the nation to past greatness, even with
Honestly, it's like, look,
using
these
violence
black people are really
as
struggling
a
and they're turning into these
tool
maniacs.
against his own
It seems like they don't do
people.
anything right. They're
These are
obnoxious, they're rude, they're
flags, ladies and
inconsiderate,
gentlemen. These are
aggressive,
big red flags.
cruel. If black people were super well behaved, we would be racist in the other direction. We'd say, black people, oh, yes, dude, yes. My day is about to turn around for the better. What can I help you with,
Instead
sir?
of controlling
Please come right
themselves,
on
they
in.
blame you.
Man, what a relief to see
Instead
you
of
here.
seeing their
You're a
own
sight for sore
actions
eyes.
is dangerous and reckless, they blame someone else. Someone else has made them do it. How is that possible? That is dangerous. The N word was always disrespectful and ugly. And white people came up with that word to insult people of color.
Black, white,
Other people of
Asian.
color use the
Where do these
word
racial
and it
categories
is
even come from?
insulting.
Spoiler,
If you
they weren't based
find
on biology.
anyone
They were
saying this
invented by
word,
doctors
it is
using
a red
science
flag and
that we
you
now
are
know
in
to be
danger.
pseudoscience. But those impacts, they're still shaping medicine today. My name's Dr. Joel, the medical mythbuster, became Johann Blumenbach, a German physician who in 1795 coined the term Caucasian. He believed skulls from the Caucasus Mountains were the most beautiful. His five race theory laid the groundwork for ranking humanity, with white Europeans conveniently on top. Other scientists came along to try and perpetuate the belief using science that white people were superior and that slavery was justified.
Where you say, bitch, you got me up. Sitting, going into a party, see if you good. You been staring at me. With your fake ass eyelashes. I don't get out of my face, you
In the 1800s, American physician Samuel Morton took it further. He collected skulls, measured their sizes, and said that larger skulls meant smarter brains, and that white people had the biggest skulls. His work was embraced as proof that white people were superior, and that had deadly consequences. Despite physicians like Friedrich Tiedemann disproving him, Morton's false conclusions spread because it supported slavery and white supremacy.
You got me up. Sitting, going into a party, see if you good. You been staring at me. With your fake ass eyelashes. I don't get out of my face, you
These myths weren't just confined to anthropology, they spread to medicine too, and those stains are still here today. One of the clearest examples, a device called a spirometer, invented in the 1840s by English surgeon John Hutchinson in order to measure lung capacity. It was originally used to assess fitness for police, military, and life insurance applicants. But when the technology spread to the Americas, doctors like Samuel Cartwright twisted it. Cartwright claimed that black people naturally had lower lung capacity, and he tried to use the spirometer to prove it. It's a myth that was repeated by people like President Thomas Jefferson, who in notes on the state of Virginia echoed that myth and stated that working in the fields revitalized the lungs of black people. And only in 2021 was the race correction recommended to be removed. That's a direct line from 19th century pseudoscience to 21st century care. And unfortunately, it's just one of many examples. The myth of racial differences wasn't accidental, it was designed to maintain inequality. Understanding that history is the first step to unlearning it today. Follow, like, and share to bust more medical myths.
Yeah.
Black, white,
Yes, ladies and
Asian.
gentlemen, even
Where
be
do these racial
afraid of your
categories even
doctor.
come from? Spoiler, they
And
weren't based
for
on
our
biology. They were
African
invented by
brothers
doctors
and
using science.
cousins, one of the biggest disappointments was when a family member, even if it's a long lost cousin, seemed to not be able to understand our ways as people of color. That's one of the biggest disappointments. When our African family seems to not be able to understand that we are like them, it is a red flag and you are in danger. Africans know Americans' history better than us. If they are choosing to act like they don't understand, they are dangerous to you. Alert, red flag. Next is Mr. Lou Key, who has an obvious hate for black skin, and he made money off of it. I can't even speak about it, but he is in jail right now as of 2023 for his absolute despicable low acts. All right. Next up is this terrible, despicable Karen on the bus who was busted actually saying lies. This is what happens when the people around you stand up. And this is what needs to happen. When you see something ugly and diabolical and wrong, please speak up for that person. Please help your neighbor. We do need each other. Your ancestors forgot to tell you how hard it was and how we all worked together. And shame on them. They were Italians when they were on that boat, but they forgot to tell you how it was an African that helped them, that taught them. They forgot to tell you how it was an Indian or it was an Irish that helped them live and succeed. They forgot to tell you, and now they're mean and ugly, and they forget on purpose. The answer is simple. Yell out, help. Yell out, they're kidnapping me. Yell out, I'm scared. Yell out, you're dangerous. Yell out, please stop. Call the police. All over the globe, our black skin has been talked so bad about. But all over the globe, this black skin is loved, and they're afraid to be called a nigger lover.